Okay, so it took a little longer than 10 minutes if you were following my story. But I'm just going to do basic, I feel like doing my makeup today type tutorial. I kind of, you can't see, I kind of got like rosy pants on, so I was going to do more, use bandana shimmer. And probably a little bit of brown, but kind of keep it nice and rosy for you. But I'm going to start with my basics. So I already did my skincare, which I use the Oily to Acne line, if you don't know. Daytime moisturizer that helps with me. Right now I just freshly picked up my face, so it's great. But the... that's what I do. And then I use vitamin C and our climate control. Let me see if I got it. Here's the climate control. I'm like running low. But all of these products have, and where's my vitamin C? I don't know where my vitamin C is. We have a very fresh vitamin C container. There it is. It has these little pearls in it. That basically, those contain pure vitamin C, so when they break on your face, you're getting the most, hey Jack, we're getting our most, the most fresh, pure vitamin C for your skin cells, which is really good. And all of these products have the Cineplex complex, which helps rejuvenate your cells a little bit faster. So keeps those fresh skin cells to the surface and gets rid of the dead, and it's very good. And I've found my skin looks better. I've been doing this for maybe 2 years. It is summer, so I've had this damage around here since having kids. It's pregnancy mask. Yeah, it's great. But my skin in general, like, I'm very glad I'm taking care of it. Sorry, I'm just going to get started because I don't want to be on here forever. You don't want me to be on here forever. So this is Candlelight, and what I like about it, we do have concealers, which is nice, and they do a very good job, but the concealer I have is a medium colored, because that's what I bought, and that was a mistake, because they don't, I just rubbed this in with my fingers, just around my eyes, because I don't put as much foundation around my eyes, and I actually use foundation to just over top of these other places. What was I saying? But the Candlelight, because it's lighter, you can see that it kind of brightens up where my eyes were. And then I just kind of blend in the rest of the concealer with my foundation brush when I do my foundation. So this is our Make Sense foundation, and it's waterproof, water resistant, and lasts like all day for me on my 12-hour, 13-hour shifts. So I like it. So I did Cafe au lait because I've been trying it out. I'm more of a tan, I think is my more favorite color, but this is a cool tone, which I need the cool tone. And then I put a little bit of almond with it because it just lightens it up just a tad bit. And then almond is what I basically use in the summer. And I probably put too much almond, but that is what's nice about this is it color corrects to match about 3 shades darker and 3 shades lighter. And so I can go with just using plain almond for a good long period of time. And then in the summer, when I'm dark, I can just use my darker foundation. And then if I feel like adding some highlights with the almond in different areas, I can. But for the most part, this does a really good job in just color correcting and blending with the rest of my skin tone. And I've been using this for, like I said, about 2 years, over 2 years. And I never have makeup lines because it just blends really well. I very much recommend the foundations because they're my favorite. And I've never went back to any other kind of foundation because of how well it just blends and corrects and stays on. And like I said, it's good. So then what I've been doing is I have been contouring with Mocha Java. Nothing extravagant. I just kind of do this. And this also why I do it a little bit more often, even for everyday stuff, is because it kind of blends with my pregnancy mask that you see up there, and makes it look a little bit more uniform. And this is just a brush, Color Lab, whatever. I got it at Sally's. But it's been kind of my favorite for the contouring. And then I take our white, which they have a better formula now. I'm trying to look for my brush that I use for the white. For my highlighting. Sometimes I hide things from myself because I'm cool like that. I wonder, no, I emptied it. We'll use a different brush. We'll use this, my broken brush. So we have, it's a white, it's considered a color concealer, but I use it for highlights. Sometimes I mix it, which I might, just since I'm not going all out, like wanting deep contouring. So I put a little bit on my wrist. I'm going to use the almond just to kind of make it not so stark highlights. It does blend really well for like more evening looks if I want a more dramatic. But I'm kind of not doing anything except going out with the kids and actually working out too. Some days you just want a little bit of look like you did something with yourself. But like I said, it just creates some nice highlights under your eyes. The candlelight, a lot of times we'll do that also just with that basic, what I did to start out with. So then you saw me put the candlelight on my eyes. I like to even lighten up the inner lids just a little bit even more before I get going. We'll see how detailed I get with my eyes, what I'm feeling. And I just take kind of a brush and pat it in. I do dictate, like I have fluffy brushes, blending brushes, and I dictate a light fluffy brush, and I dictate a dark fluffy brush, and then crease brushes. I'll do like a darker one because it is cream to powder shadow sense, and it does a pretty good job that it doesn't transfer like the second time I use them if I don't wash them between. But if you are trying to do a light, some of that might come off. And so this is that bandana shimmer I was showing. And I actually will probably pull this down to a majority of the lid, just so we get a really nice rosy color. I really should probably be looking in the mirror, not in my camera. Okay. Let's see. Let's go with. So I actually want more, so I'm going to put a little bit more. And again, I still want my crease to be the strongest, so I'm just going to put a little bit more in my crease and pull it down again. And that's the nice thing about these is you can kind of make it as strong as you want. The same goes with some of our other bold colors like our rustic brown, our onyx. The first application might not be as deep as you want or dramatic, but for that particular night, but you can just add more. And then if you want a more subdued hint, you can always either just apply the one layer lightly or add more, or mix it with another color that you might want to add. Let's see here. So that's nice. I'm going to put a little bit of garnet in the corners just to deepen, because we feel like it. And you can either apply directly like this, which is what I do because I get lazy, or you can add it to a brush first and just wipe the wand. I am going to find another brush here. There we go. And I'm just going to be very specific about that. I just kind of want this in the corners, and you can kind of make a V just to deepen that without really taking away from that bandana shimmer. And what I found is, because I've been using my Black Brown Volume Intense mascara more, it just complements these smoky eye looks without having to have any falsies on. And I'm actually gonna take that brown and just kind of go under here. Just add a little more. So that's simple. I might just take this blending, what I used for the bandana shimmer, and just kind of blend that out even more. And you can stop there. Anywhere you see any markations, like if you squinted while applying. That's pretty good. I like that. We also have, this has been one of my more favorites if you're wanting to go more dramatic, shell glitter. Whenever I go the more rosy color, I'll mix it with some of the mulberry, like if I just want a mulberry look, which is more of a mauve, matte mauve color. It does really well with kind of glamming up the mulberry. So yeah, that's that. I have not been wearing as much eyeliner, especially when I'm doing the black brown look, but if you wanted to, you can take like an angled brush like this, swipe the wand. This is just the garnet, so it's already a color I've already kind of mixed in. Just add just a slight, so it's not as intense. But still kind of enlarges that eye. Without giving like that distinct eyeliner look. And then I'm actually while this dries. So it's a like I said, a liquid to powder foundation. So once it sets, it's set, but it can come off if you don't let it set, just like our lipstick. So that's why you have to wait and let it dry in between. So next I'm going to do blush, and it is a Toasted Rose blush scent. Again, old formula, that's why it's a bigger bottle. The new formulas are beautiful, better pigmented, but I still love my old stuff. So this is Toasted Rose, and I am going to show you that. So I just put a little daub on it like that, and just with a regular brush, just adds that little bit in. I like Toasted Rose a lot. Chocolate Cherry is still my favorite, but I love them all. And sometimes I'll even put Pouty Pink above it to just accent, if I have it available. That's Terracotta. I'll show you how that looks. Oh, don't move. Okay, pouty pink. So it just adds, again, another tone. But you can keep it here. No big deal. Just to add a highlight. Pouty pink is super subtle. And on, if you're a lighter skin tone, or I've even seen like the really dark skin tones, looks beautiful on me. It's so close to my regular skin tone that it doesn't really show up as much, but it's a good subtle, like even like kind of rosy tinted highlight for me. All right, so here is, just gonna curl my lashes. But so you can get a good look at what they look like beforehand. I'm just going to separate them out a bit because I'm big on that. Okay, so for my lashes, I'm going to be using our Undersense. It's a new 3-in-1 maximizing lash primer. I recommend this if you're going to be going out for the evening, don't feel like putting on falsies. This gives you the falsie look. It gives a very natural, I've got huge lashes and they're so natural. But the what I like is it doesn't take away from the color. Now, one thing I haven't tried, so I use our waterproof mascara because I'm out at the pool a lot. Sometimes I cry. But either way, I'm prepared, and it's not a formula that pulls out my lashes. So I haven't tried it, though. I haven't tried the waterproofness with the Undersense, because one thing I will note, the old Undersense formula kind of made the old mascara less waterproof, and I've not tested it yet with this. I think because of how the old one would function, if I know I'm going to a pool, I just wear the volumetric mascara. So what I do is I let it dry. You can go through and kind of separate them out again just in case they clumped, because I don't like clumping. But what I like is it doesn't take away from the color of the mascara, which, like I said, the old Undersense did, and another reason why I didn't like wearing the old Undersense. So our Lip Sense, if you're new to this, you apply it in 3 layers. And what that does, the first layer basically acts as a protectant of the color from your skin, because your skin has natural defense mechanisms that basically rejects anything you put on it because it doesn't want anything on it. So your lips will naturally kind of break down your color. So the first layer protects against that. And then the second layer is your true color. And then the third layer acts as like a defense mechanism against the weather elements, your saliva being a big one. Your saliva is very acidic. And so it will break down your color too. And especially if you're eating very acidic things. So that doesn't help. So your pizza, anything that has a lot of acid, if you're drinking a lot of coffee, and I say a lot because I drink a lot of coffee, and it'll hold up for like the first cup, but if I'm like constantly, and your mouth, even when you're getting hungry, it starts to break down because it's producing those saliva glands, like the whole drooling thing, like dogs drooling. you smell the pizza and automatically your glands are producing that acidity. Okay, so I'm kind of going to do a combo. Once I start going, I'm not going to be able to talk. But I'm going to do a nude pink and roseberry just to kind of keep going with this. Nude pink's like my favorite color right now. But sometimes it can get a little bit too orangey even for me. And the thing is, you want to shake it for a good 30 seconds so it mixes it up. If you're just starting out, it may tingle a little bit because we do have alcohol in here to help preserve the color. And you see me keep drying my lips because I keep talking. So basically, I'm trying to get that saliva out of the corners of my mouth so that way I'm not starting on an already kind of unstable surface. So I want it as dry as possible so it can adhere to my lips. All right, once you get the gloss on, you can talk, you can put your lips together, and that's that. But yeah, so simple look. I don't have any of my finishing powder with me. It's always on the go. Who else loses their finishing powder like every other second? I do a lot. But anyway, I would finish with a finishing powder, and that will kind of matte things out because I'm super oily, and that's why I get bad acne. The other thing I was going to talk about while I'm here is I get a lot of questions about the coloring of my hair. I've been coloring my hair for about 6 years, which is not easy, but my husband works really odd hours and unpredictable, so I could never make my appointments, and I'd have to keep canceling, or I just wouldn't do them, and my hair looked awful. And if you're blonde, it's kind of high maintenance and super expensive. So what I've been doing lately, I do something different about every time because I like to rotate so I don't lose a lot of depth and highlights, because by just coloring my roots every time, you lose some of those low lights, and I wanted to keep it still looking like how I like. So sometimes I foil, and I'll foil in some highlights, and what I've been using is I use this Blonde Brilliance powder lightener, and then also the Blonde Brilliance developer. I've tried Wella, I've tried Ion, anything basically I can get at Sally's, but I found that this does the best. They know what they're doing, they're focusing on blonde, and I think it's better nutrients, kind of has an oil infusion with it, and I think, like I said, they know what they're doing. They're focusing on blonde. This is just for blondes. And then the other thing I do is sometimes I'll do that and I'll foil between hand, and it can get kind of creative, and because I'm doing it myself doesn't mean I can get that elaborate, but it does the job, and it's probably saved me thousands of dollars of just doing it myself. And so the other thing I do is, if I'm finding myself very brassy, because I can't stand brassy, you can use toners. I'll use the Blonde Brilliance toners. I like the lilac because I think it really takes out the brass, obviously, because it's got a lilac toner. But you have to be prepared, like that, maybe that first wash, before that first wash or whatever, you're going to have some lilac-y hair. I like that, so that's kind of why I choose that one, because I don't mind that. And along with that lines, if I'm feeling like I want a more all-over color, I will use, this is Clairol's Cream Permanent Soyplex, and it's called 10V, and it's a special collection they have. They only have 3 colors. They have an 8, a 9, and a 10. And so if I'm really wanting that light blonde without getting super brassy, I'll use that after I lighten it. And it just depends on I'd say my natural color is probably like around a 6, between a 5 and a 6. My problem is I can never get a 6 that's like my natural color, so I kind of have to play with it. So the other toners I've tried, you can do Wella T18. This is Wella T11. Sometimes I'll mix if I think the T18 is going to be a little bit too ashy for me. But what I found is I don't think it doesn't last that long, and I don't think it's as good on my hair as I found with, like I said, the Blonde Brilliance brand. The other thing I've been doing is I don't like it, and I'll play with it and leave it for a couple of days just to give my hair a break. But when I have the really super platinum roots, I don't feel like myself, if that makes sense. So I'll leave it and I'll play with it and have fun with it for those couple days. But I usually like to go through and then put, like, I've tried this brand, this Argan Oil hair color. I've done the 7A and the 8A, just depends on how dark I want to go. Probably in the fall I'll go down to a 6 just to give a nice shadow root. And there is a YouTube person. Oh, and I use the argan oil. I'm looking for nutrients more than a lot of things right now, but this has stayed really well in my hair without going brassy. Most toners, like after a few washes, it's gone. What was I? Oh, what is her name? There's a YouTube star that kind of taught me how to do it myself, a self-application. For a good balayage that allows for me to do a good kind of shadow root without it being like noticeable or give any kind of lines of demarcation. Again, I'm not a hairstylist. I've never went to school for it, but as far as being blonde and doing it myself, it's worked out for me. L Bangs, that's who it is. But anyway, a long time ago when I was in the trenches of having 3 young kids and not able to get out of the house, that really helped me. Another thing I use for my colors, like when I do the fun colors like the blues, the purples, the pinks, I found that this works best for me, Clairol Flare Me. I've tried the Ion, I've tried the Wella, and those wash out so fast, and you do all the work to put it in and then it's gone within a wash or 2. Don't do that. Even it being a vivid permanent color, it's not going to be in forever. So I recommend these. You can get, that's an Ion. So this is an Ion clear to more pastel it, but Flare Me has a clear also to mute it. And that's kind of nice too because you can kind of adjust it to how you want. If you want some darker pinks on the ends, you can have it with less of the clear. Other than that, I think I'm done. I tried, like I said, I have like a whole arsenal in my closet. 7A Wella, I do recommend Wella. I've just kind of found, like I said, my hair was getting really damaged and I kept thinking it was because obviously I color my hair a lot and it becomes very obsessive when I have roots, and because I can do it myself and it just is a matter of me getting in here and spending the time to do it. But I was thinking I was doing it too much, I was doing things wrong. I kind of found out, I went to get my hair cut and she said that I'm over-proteinizing my hair because I was using expensive shampoos, conditioners. So that actually was causing a lot of damage. And then she sold me like a $40 bottle of some spray and some oil, which when things weren't really getting that much better, and I thought, oh, she doesn't know what she's talking about because my hair is still bad. I did a little bit more research, and the spray and the oil that she gave me actually had a lot of protein in it. So I was continuing the process, and even though my shampoo that I was using was supposed to be super moisturizing, it still had a lot of protein in it. So I went cheap and got some good grocery store shampoo and conditioner that it looked at the ingredients, didn't have any, and my hair has never been healthier. So I've just been focusing on moisturizing and whatnot, but the ends that I thought were totally damaged and I was going to have to keep chopping my hair because I did all this damage, they're actually better. So like I said, I don't know what I'm doing except for I got lipstick on my teeth and talking. But it's been a very fun little adventure since of coloring my hair. And like I said, I do it myself. I don't always know what I'm doing, but I try different things and I kind of know how my hair reacts. And it's a labor of like experimenting and you learn. All right. Well, that's all I'm going to do. Hope you like the tutorial. It's pretty simple. And this will stay on all day. Maybe after my workout, I'll give another little photo, hop on how it looks after workout and our lovely heat in Ohio right now of sitting at a t-ball game. So yeah, I'll talk to you later.